Okay, so I wanted to cover a little bit about some very important concepts in research and psychology. Um, First, there's the operational definition, right? An operational definition. This is so important in psychology, and it's really so important in all science. Um, but an operational definition is that's where you define very precisely how you measured or manipulated a variable in your study. All right. So if I was doing many years ago, one of the fields of research I still do some stuff in is psychology of music. And years ago, you may have, I don't know if you've heard of the Mozart effect or not. This is a long time ago. On the news one night, this was when you're just the network newses back in the 90s. 1990s, not 1890s. But anyway, well, I just watching the news one night, and a research reporter said, "Oh, researchers have found that listening to Mozart music improves your intelligence," is what they said. Right? Well, what? Okay, first thing that popped into my mind to that is what I wonder what the operational definitions are in that study for listening to Mozart music and intelligence. All right, so you have to find those details of exactly what was measured or manipulated. Those are the operational definitions. So when I went and looked up that study, all right, it was a particular piece of recorded music, a particular Mozart piece of music played by a particular orchestra, recorded at a particular time, right? So it's not all Mozart music. It was just that one recording of Mozart music, and they listened to that for, let's say, 20 minutes. That is all the operational definition of that. So, people listening to Mozart music. Well, what do you mean listening to Mozart music? Well, I can just listen to any Mozart music for 2 minutes, and then I'm going to be more intelligent overall. No, you have to look at the details in the study, right? That's what you have to look for with the operational definitions. And then I looked up the operational definition for increased intelligence. And it was spatial intelligence. It was a particular test of spatial intelligence. Now, there are many different kinds of intelligence, really. So what do you mean it improves spatial intelligence? Can you view an object and rotate it in your mind's eye and pick out the object that matches it that's been rotated versus other objects that are not it, that are also rotated? It was that kind of intelligence test in that study. So I looked up those operational definitions, and I immediately thought, this is, come on. This is, come on. This is nothing. All right? But based on that one study, right, back in the late 1990s, the state of Georgia, the legislatures in the state of Georgia thought, hell, let's pass a law and let's give a recording of classical music, either CD or cassette, to every new mother in Georgia, to the parent of every new infant that's born in the state of Georgia. Well, the legislatures didn't bother to look up the operational definitions, right? I mean, what? It's not classical music. It's Mozart music. It's not all Mozart music. There's a particular recording of Mozart music. And it's not all intelligence. It was spatial. It was as measured by a particular spatial intelligence test. And then you can look at the other things. I mean, that study was done on college students. It wasn't done on infants. You have to look at the operational definition. If you hear that something improves intelligence, that means nothing. You have to know, well, what studies have been done, and in those studies, how have they measured intelligence in those studies? Pardon me. So, yeah, I mean, you got to look at the operational definitions to know what's going on, to correctly interpret the research. So don't go running out there buying, supplements, nutritional supplements that are going to improve your intelligence. Because you got to look at the studies and see if the actually studies have been done. And if they've been done, well, what's the dosage, for how long, and measured how? What kind of intelligence? So the devil is in the details in research, in scientific research, that's in the operational definitions. It gives you the specifics of how it was measured or manipulated. You need to know that in all science. But this is psychology, so specifically, yeah, in psychological science, you need to know that. So that's operational definitions for you.